I think everyone should reach like that rock bottom point so they can see who they truly are, because whenever they just settle for their comfort zone, the mediocrity version of their lives that pretty much 99% of people settle for, they never get to see who they truly are and what they're made of. And they never experience like burning the boats to go after what they truly want. And that's where most dreams go to die. And that's the comfort zone.
We're live. Ryan.
I know.
Round two.
Yes,
likewise.
Sir. Yeah.
How you been, man?
Very good, brother. How about you?
Amazing, man. It feels like it was so recent. I saw you before I came back to Bangkok, but also a lot's happened at the same time. We obviously did like the hike at the volcano. I think, was that the last time or did we? Yeah, it was in Bali.
I think that was the last time. Like we went clubbing, and then instead of just drinking, going home with some random Balinese girl, we decided to just go climb a volcano. So it's very legendary.
As you do, as high ticket closers do.
Yeah, just very natural.
One thing I fucking love about you in particular is whenever I hang out with you, you like show me what's actually possible if you have the right mindset. Like that's one thing I really admire about you. Like you'll go days without sleeping.
Yeah. You can sleep when you die.
Right. It's nuts. Like you just get it done because it's like obviously sleep and stuff is important, but a lot of people take it way too far where like they let that make them be lazy. Whereas you're like, dude, if something's got to get done, it gets fucking done. And your purpose just drives you.
Yeah, 100%. Because like if you give into like the limiting beliefs that other people have settled into, then you're going to be stuck at those limits. But when you break those for yourself, you can actually see what's possible and what your limits actually are.
100%. And it helps you on your sales calls too, because like a lot of the people that we speak to, like they're scared about taking that first step, right? Like they're nervous, they've got fears, but it's like if you're that guy, you're the guy they look up to, you're the guy they want to be, and you're congruent in your own life and you lead them, boom.
Yeah.
Makes it easier. 100%.
Exactly. So, I mean, how do you like Bangkok so far? I think this is the second time you've been here, right?
Yeah, it's interesting because the first time, Bangkok was the first place overseas I went to like on my solo trip. So I was just like in awe.
Yeah, this is the place that popped your cherry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Popped my cherry, yeah.
Actually, same as well.
Oh, yeah, because you flew here first when you went from the States, hey?
Yeah, I got here like August 29th of last year.
Yeah. I think that's for a lot of people. I don't know why, but Bangkok seems to be like a starting point.
Yeah, I think it's the best place to start off.
Yeah.
For sure. Especially if you have no income like me.
Yeah.
This is definitely the best place to go because if you go to like Koh Samui, Pattaya, or like a chill place where there's a lot of distractions and not the right people, then you could easily fall off the train.
Yeah.
And then have to eat the bugs in the streets. So Bangkok is definitely the best place to like lock in and actually focus on making money, especially if you're trying to make money online.
100%. Like the first time I came, I was just like so in awe of everything. And like, I was just like, oh my gosh, look at all these food places, these malls, like all this crazy stuff. And it's really interesting coming back here with Aaron and Anton because it's like, it's their first time. So like they're exploring doing that stuff. And I'm like, man, I just want to lock the fuck in.
Yeah.
Like I've literally over the past 4 days just like locked myself in that hotel room and I've like worked from morning till night and I've loved every second. Like,
yeah, I mean, when you first came out here, like how did it feel in terms of like your dopamine levels? Like were they spiked to the roof? Like it was a whole new level of reality. Like your horizons were expanded as well.
The novelty when you go to like a new place for the first time is unmatched. Like the second time will never be as high of like a rush because it's not new, right?
Yeah.
But I can still like appreciate like how good of a place it is. But yeah, the first time was crazy. Like I was like a little kid on Christmas, bro. I was so excited. Like just everything I went to, even just like seeing people walking, I was like, wow, this is amazing. Look at all these people. Look how busy it is.
It's always moving and it's like a GTA 5 server in real life. Like you can do whatever you want, when you want, with who you want.
Yeah.
And rarely get in trouble or get caught. But of course, if you do get in trouble, you're in Thai jail for like a lifetime. So
yeah, hopefully not too much trouble.
Yeah.
But it's like one thing I really realized when I first came and even coming back is like in Bangkok, you realize that no one actually gives a fuck. Like in a sense that like I used to care a lot about people's opinions, what they thought of me, like especially in Brisbane or Australia, like friends, family. I used to care so much about people's opinions. And when I came out and I see like everyone doing their own thing, everyone's in their own world, it just switched for me where I was like, why do I care? Why do I care about people's opinions? Like, look at all of these people doing their own thing. They're all focused on their own life. They don't care about me. It's like, I care about myself and that's what matters. So that was like a good breakthrough I had.
Yeah.
But how about you? How did you find it when you first, because you came from the States.
Yeah.
So that's even further than Australia.
Yeah, it was like a 22-hour flight. I stopped in Istanbul, Turkey.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of baddies there. But yeah, I came here and I literally had like no sleep on the flight because I was sitting to some very smelly people. So that was quite unfortunate. But on the flight, I was like raw dogging it a little bit so I could like write down like what my goals were and what my intentions were when coming here, because some people, they come here with like $10,000 or $20,000 saved. But I came out here with like 1,500. So I had to lock in. So I just created a plan where I would just focus all in on remote sales and make it work no matter what. And I was on a B2B offer when I first came here with very high hopes that it would bring me a lot of money because I saw some like closes in the chat. But then I came out here and made like $0 in like 2 months. So very tragic.
Yeah, I remember you telling me last time about that. That was like nuts. You basically survived off like 7-Eleven.
Yeah. Like the rice at 7-Eleven's like 20 baht. And then there's some rice you can get for like 5 baht. So yeah, rice, coffees, that's all you really need.
Yeah.
And just fast a few days. I mean, you're all good. A lot of people just give up right when things get hard. But as long as you stick to your goals and stick to your plan and see it through, you'll eventually reach that other side for sure.
What was that like for your like mindset, like going through that experience?
I think it was like a flip of a switch in my mindset because I came out here with like a scarcity NPC mindset. Like the only way I thought to make money was like through the 9-to-5 university. But coming out here when I reached rock bottom, it wasn't that bad. I think everyone should reach like that rock bottom point so they can see who they truly are, because whenever they just settle for their comfort zone, the mediocrity version of their lives that pretty much 99% of people settle for, they never get to see who they truly are and what they're made of and what they'll do when their back is against the wall.
Yeah.
And they never experience like burning the boats to go after what they truly want. And that's where most dreams go to die. And that's the comfort zone.
Yeah.
So coming out here, just the flip of the mindset from like the NPC mindset to the abundance mindset where I hit rock bottom. And I mean, it can't get any worse than rock bottom. So you can only look up and you can only try to do what you can do to make things work. And then eventually it will. One
thing I learned from you is like that slingshot effect.
Yeah, the slingshot effect. Exactly.
Yeah, it's like the less you go back, you can only go so far. But if you go all the way back, you're fucking flying.
Yeah, like let's just say you have like $10,000. If you like spend that whole $10,000 investing in yourself, mastermind courses, and taking the calculated risk and taking relentless action as doing everything you can, you'll lose that $10,000, but then probably make 20,000, 50,000, 100,000.
Yeah. And in the grand scheme of things, it's like, let's say you make 100 grand a year or even 50 grand a year, right? Over 50 years, I don't know, that's like $2.5 million. Like what's $10,000 in the grand scheme of things? And it's like, yes, you lose 10K temporarily, but what is that going to do to you long term? Is it going to make you more than 10,000? Probably.
Yeah.
Like even the first course I bought, I didn't even learn anything from the course, but it got me into sales, which has made me obviously a lot more than $1,000.
Yeah.
And I was shit scared when I made that first investment. Like I was shitting my pants, but I was like, what's the alternative?
Yeah. What was that first investment for you? Like the first course you ever bought?
Yeah. So there was a guy I followed on TikTok at the time called Jason Capital. And he was talking a lot about like porn addiction actually. So he had like personal development content and stuff like that, as well as his business content. And he helped me a lot actually, like with porn, because that was something I struggled with when I was younger. I'd watch it like all the time, and he helped me a lot with that. So I started following him more and more. Anyway, I was at university studying construction. I was about 4 weeks in, and then COVID hit 4 weeks in, and I was going to these classes online then, doing these group assignments. People like, oh, you got to do this, you got to do that. I was like, what am I doing? Like, this is not what I want to do. It's just what my family, it's what my friends wanted me to do. It's like that traditional path. And then I got spammed with like a bunch of side hustle ads. And one of them was from Jason Capital, basically saying like, make a few extra $1,000, type a few messages on your phone, things like that. I was like, hey, that sounds better than McDonald's, which is what I was doing at the time. I was like, I reckon I could do that. Anyway, I spoke with his like DM setter. Now looking back, I know. And yeah, I bought that course. And then, so it was on like copywriting and things like that, which I didn't really use, but Jason Capital is like a really good speaker. That's what I learned from him. Anyway, that network from that group then got me into selling Instagram followers, which was like my first sales role, which I didn't even know I was in sales until like 9 months in, but yeah, that's how it started.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, with my first course that I bought, I mean, it was just like, I was working a contracting job at the time, like putting gutter guards on houses.
Yeah.
And I was like carrying around 32-foot ladders, 40-foot ladders on the back of a truck. And that was like fucking back-breaking. But yeah, I was like watching YouTube. I saw people living it up in Koh Samui and they were like the same age as us. I was like, wait a minute, like what are they doing to actually survive out there and make money? So I was like digging around, doing some research. And then I found like the landing page in the description. So I clicked on it and I went all the way to the end. And there was like this price. It was like $5,000. I had no idea what it was.
On the landing page?
Yeah. Like it was just right there. No salesman. So I was like, okay, well, it's $5,000. It's got to be something valuable. So I saved up for like 4 weeks, like $1,000 a week, $1,200 a week. And then I just bought it. And then it was like a remote sales course.
Right.
So, I mean, I had no idea what it was, but I mean, taught me everything to get me started. So it's very good.
How long do you think it would have taken you to actually get to where you are if you just tried to wing it on your own?
Oh, probably would have never even learned about it until it was like too late.
Yeah.
So
it's
glad
crazy.
I took that crazy step. My mom thought I got scammed by like some guy in like another country. She was like, I just told her I put it in some Forex or something.
Yeah. It's cool. Even like I was just thinking before when you were mentioning when you're on that flight to Bangkok, bro, I feel like airports and like plane rides are actually the biggest hack for like focus work because you don't have internet for the most part unless you buy it. But I actually purposely don't because when you don't actually have connection, it just forces you to like actually think. And even just the last flight from Bali to Thailand, the amount of breakthroughs I had, like, oh shit, I need to do this, I need to do that. It was like it's always like a first time in a while that I actually have nothing else to do than think. And it's probably the same for you. Like when you had that plane trip, right, and you're mapping out your goals, like you probably had so much more clarity than if you're just trying to brainstorm and then you get distracted. You're on YouTube, you're on Reels, stuff like that.
Yeah. Like those moments of clarity when you're just alone, that's probably the most important time, especially if you don't know what you want and you're always like distracted by like sports, university, Netflix, porn, partying. Yeah. You never get to know what you truly want. So I'd recommend if you guys are watching right now to just sit down with yourself for an hour, maybe go on a plane ride to like some foreign place and then just sit with yourself and ask yourself what your goals are and what you truly desire. Yeah. Because it's not about like, it's not very hard to like achieve your goals. It's just very hard to find out what those goals are in the first place. Yeah. And that only comes from like having clarity, right? That's why so many breakthroughs happen when people are in the shower. Because when you're in the shower, you got nothing else. You're just thinking like that's for me, like in the morning and night, that's when I'm like summarizing my day. And then, it's cool. But moving forward, like, so obviously you've gotten to this point where like, obviously you're doing really well in high ticket sales. You've got your YouTube, which is fucking blowing up, which is awesome. Because it's like, I know at the last mastermind, that was another thing I learned from you was like consistency with content. And I came out of that mastermind, like, even though I was hosting it, like I learned so much from you guys. And that was the thing that I learned. So I've just stayed consistent with the Instagram. I think I've gone from like 300 followers to like, I'm about to hit 1,000, which is like exciting. But then, learning from you, like consistency with the content. So what was that like for you? Like starting out, never posting a video on YouTube to now getting to where you are now, where like you've got a few thousand people knowing about you. Yeah. So, I mean, at the start, when I started doing content, I was very scared to like think what people were thinking of me. I was scared of thinking like they would look down on me or something like that. But then I flipped that and I was like, okay, well, what if there's someone out there like a younger version of me who needs that inspiration, needs that motivation, needs that value from me that I can give to him? Like I'm doing him a disservice. So that's what kind of sold myself on like doing content to motivate someone who's maybe in their room just like I was, sad, doesn't know what to do with their life, and just helping them get to where they need to be. Yeah. So, I mean, is that the same for you with your content? Like, do you think that's like the main reason you kind of post right now? Yeah, 100%. Like in my YouTube bio, it's just literally the channel my younger self needed. And I think it's a good idea because like when you start progressing and you start hanging out with more high level people that like think the same way, you forget where your mind was when you first started and like how many bad traits you had or how many negative beliefs or limiting beliefs or like negative mindsets that people have around you. You forget that, or it's easy to. So like when you make these videos and you think like, okay, 18-year-old Orlando, he's struggling with porn. He's eating a bunch of junk food, watching movies. Like
He's got no purpose. He doesn't know what he wants to do with his life. When you like start to think from that perspective and you're like, okay, what did he learn that got me to where I am? And then can I just teach that to someone else? Like, and that gives you so much purpose, knowing that you're actually like helping people that are starting out, because it's so easy to forget like where you came from.
Yeah, 100%. Because like our new reality now, we're surrounded by people who are all successful. We forget like what unsuccessful looks like.
Yeah.
So you have to kind of have that retrospect and that reflection on thinking like, okay, well, what if someone else is in my position in the past and I need to help them and hold their hand through the entire process to get them to where they actually want to go?
Yeah, 100%. Like for you, like what, if you were to describe yourself before sales, like what type of person were you? Because you obviously weren't the guy you are now.
No, the complete opposite. I would party, smoke every day, drink every day, screw around with a bunch of random girls in college. Did a little bit of porn as well. So, I mean, just all of the above. That was who I was in the past. But in life, you have to kill your old past, your old self sometimes to create that new version of yourself. Because like if you hold on to that old person, what you've done, the past actions that didn't really align with who your truly most high frequency version of yourself is, then it's always going to chain you down to who you used to be. So to kill off that old person, you're able to become something new. Yeah. Something more beautiful.
Yeah. And it really is like that identity shift. Like I even do this on my sales calls sometimes. It's like the current person that they are on the other side of the phone or the Zoom meeting, like that's not the person that they want to be naturally. Otherwise they'd be there. But to get the results they have to be the person that they're not. It's like a healthy person or an unhealthy person. To become healthy, they have to make decisions like a healthy person before they are that person, right? So it's hard. So it's like, even in my objection handling, sometimes it's like, yeah, it's normal that, you know, you feel uncomfortable about taking that first step because you have the perspective of where you are now, right? But what do you think that future 2.0 version of Ryan or of Orlando or whoever I'm speaking to, what do you think they would do in this moment? And when you map that out, I don't know, it's like a flick that people see where they're like, yeah, shit, that version of me would do this. So yeah, I should just do it.
Yeah. I mean, all life is input equals output. So if you're doing the wrong inputs, smoking, drinking, not in the right vehicle to get you to where you want to go to your desired output, then how do you expect to get to that desired output? Yeah. You have to change those inputs, cut off the ones that aren't helping you move the needle forward, and then replace them with the right inputs that will get you on track to reach the desired output. Yeah.
And it's also like if you just think to yourself, man, what kind of person do I want to be? Because like that was the switch for me from like actually quitting porn. I was like, man, like I want to be the successful guy. I want to be the guy that's, you know, got all the money, got the, you know, empire built, the great family, all that sort of stuff. Does that version of Orlando watch random strangers have sex on the internet? Does that version of Orlando eat McDonald's? Does that version of Orlando, you know, slack off and not have purpose and not help anyone and he's selfish? It's like, no, like that version of me is completely different. So to get there, I just need to do the things that guy would do. And when you have like that filter for life, it just helps you with like daily decisions, right? Because it's every single day. Like if you're walking on the street or you're, you know, thinking about reading this book or whatever it is, like you just have that filter of like, what would that version of me do? Oh, he'd do this. And then you just start doing that. It's like, even when I started running the masterminds and the retreats, it was weird because I had to like, especially at the last one I noticed, I had to like step into this identity of like, I'm a leader, because naturally like I was hosting a thing, right? And I wasn't used to being a leader growing up. Like I was actually the opposite. I was a follower when I was younger. So it was like weird switch for me going from like this follower with no confidence, like just doing what other people would do, to be like, all right, guys, like this is what we're doing. But I had to do that before I was that leader. And it's like, now you just become that person.
Yeah. I mean, exact same for me. And most people fall into two different categories. They're either falling into totalitarianism or conformism. They're doing what others tell them to do or do what others are doing. They never get to do what they truly want to do. And that's what I was probably doing and you were doing as well. Yeah. They're just doing what everyone wanted and what you thought would be best to make other people like you, and just kind of losing yourself in the process.
You actually do lose yourself so much. Like I even remember there were times, I was in such a fucked up mind looking back. Like there were times where I was like, I literally thought to myself, what type of person would this person like? And then I would like be like that person when I was hanging out with that friend. And I was like, with my family, I'd be this person. Like I had like two identities it was really fucked up looking back.
Yeah.
But yeah, one of the biggest things I learned last time I traveled, especially when I hung out with Matt, you remember, like, one thing I love about him is he's just like radically authentic.
Yeah.
Like, doesn't give a fuck. He is
So
who
powerful.
he is. Yeah. And that really rubbed off on me. And it's so attractive. Like, when you meet someone, even if you don't agree with them or you think they're a bit of a dick or whatever, but they're just who they are and they don't care, it's magnetic.
Yeah, you respect that person more than someone who's like sucking your dick and doing anything they can to get you to like them.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. 100%. And so, like, I guess moving forward, like, what are your goals moving forward? Like, business, personally, like, what are you working towards?
Yeah, just grinding to get to 100K a month, and then just grinding out YouTube content, and then just bettering myself overall, because I found that with sales, it's literally a lifelong journey. The more you better yourself, everything around you gets better as well.
100%. Like, when you, like we were saying before, when you are that person that the prospect wants to be, like, I think when I was younger in sales, I didn't realize how important that was. So one offer I was on, it sold like men's health coaching, and it was often to like older guys, like tradies, like, 40, 50-year-old, kind of like A-type guys. And I was this 18-year-old or 19-year-old, like, trying to sell them on men's health. When it's like, I wasn't doing that in my own life. So it was hard for them to respect me or like look up to me. But it's like, now when I'm talking to, like, for example, I'm selling to people that want to grow their online fitness coaching business. And one of the reasons they want to do that is they want to travel. They want to be their own business owner. They want to be their own boss, stuff like that. And it's like, I do all those things. I am that guy. So it's a lot easier for them to take advice from me because I've been where they are and where they want to get to.
I got you. And what do you think your goals are for like the next 5 to 10 years?
5-10 years. 5-10 years is very different to 1 to 3 years. So like 5 to 10 years, probably, I'm still a romantic at heart. Maybe I'm still a boy. I don't know. I still feel like there's, one person I'll settle down with and have a family and white picket fence and all that sort of shit. Who knows? Maybe that'll change. My perspective might change, but that's like 5 to 10 year goal. Just like have the empire set up, probably have kids. Like, that's definitely a goal. But I'm a while away from that.
Yeah.
And then 1 to 3 years, like, keep building Social Blueprint with Zach. Like, I think that's a fucking awesome offer. And then build up my own coaching. So like, I've got Closers Cult. We had a bit of a restructure recently, but that's going really well. So I'm really like building up a cult of like young sales guys. And I got one girl as well, but mostly young sales guys. And we all want to travel. We all want to be better. We want to improve our skill set. Like, that I really fucking love. And then obviously the masterminds. So doing that every 3-4 months. Got the next one in Koh Samui, which will be interesting. And yeah, just keep building the personal brand too. That's a big one I'm focusing on right now.
Yeah, that'll be very powerful in the next 5 to 10 years. Like, your personal brand, just imagine you are now, like where you are now, but imagine like the inputs you're doing now, what the output would be 5 to 10 years. It'd be insane.
And that's the crazy thing. Like, even with the content, like, I'm spending a lot of money on like, whether it's editors, like I've got a content coach, like I've got all these things, and it's like the return isn't quite there yet, but I know that long term, people knowing who Orlando is, that is not going to be a bad thing in any world. I mean, unless I get super conspiratorial, but I'm not that big yet.
It's like a compounding effect. Like, right now you might get like 1 sub a day, 5 subs a day, but then in 1 year, 50 subs a day, 100 subs a day, and then maybe 10 years, 500 subs, 1,000 subs. Yeah.
And it's crazy. Even if I get like 100 views on a video, I'm ecstatic. I'm like, sick. That's more than yesterday. And like, it's a lot of people find it hard to like connect those inputs with like, they want an instant output. But with content, it's like, it's a longer term output, and you just have to trust and have that faith that long term it's gonna reap fruits. Reap the rewards. Yeah, exactly. Like with YouTube, that's exactly how I was as well. When I first started, I was so worried about the views, the subscribers, but it's more about just sticking to your discipline and the non-negotiables of just posting a video every day, twice a week, or whatever that goal is for you. Yeah. And just sticking with it, no matter what. 100%. Yeah. And then, so in terms of like bettering yourself, like, some people read books, some people listen to podcasts, some people buy courses and mentorship, some do all three. Like, what do you do like the most to like improve yourself? I think just going out there in the world and putting yourself in new uncomfortable situations, that's the best way to learn. So that we can learn from firsthand experience. Cause like from reading books,
listening to podcasts, you're listening to someone else's experiences, not your own. So everyone's experience, like your experience and my experience, is completely unique. Everyone has their own unique dream, unique life. So you need to put yourself in unique situations where you can learn from your own situations on what worked, what didn't, and where you can go in and fix what didn't work last time. Because I mean, most people, they look at failure as like the end all be all when something doesn't work out. But once you make that mindset shift into thinking failure is the price you pay for success, then that's when you can make failure your best friend on just the world's teacher on telling you like what works and what doesn't work. So that way you can navigate quicker to where you want to be.
100%. Because I think people learn the quickest when they feel something, when they feel like an emotion. And a lot of time that can be pain, right? So it's like you feel this pain of like failing, and then it clicks to your brain so much quicker because, you know, in caveman days, it's like, oh, I touch that thing and I get burned. Oh, don't touch things like that again. Like you learn because you had that pain. And it's like you have that with life experiences as well. It's like if you know, you eat junk food and you get fat or whatever, and then you like learn from that, or you go out, you know, to this new experience and you talk with this guy and you learn something. It has a bigger emotional impact on you than just listening to someone talk about it, for sure.
Yeah, 100%. And like on a sales call, if someone says they failed in the past with like a course or mentorship, I always ask them like, so, I mean, Orlando, you've been traveling before, right? And I'm guessing you stayed at like hotels sometimes.
Yeah.
At these hotels, like, were they always like 10 out of 10's the perfect experience, or did you maybe have bad experiences sometimes?
Definitely had bad experiences.
Okay. And would you say that stopped you from ever traveling again?
No.
So, I mean, it's pretty much the same thing with life. Like, you're going to have bad experiences. And I think like everyone in the world should chase after failure, because the more you learn and fail, the more you're able to grow.
Yeah.
But most people, they're scared to fail. And that's why they always stay at the bottom.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. I like that analogy. And whenever I like those analogies, I actually just made a video on that, but it's like whenever you relate it to something that they've experienced, like I use a similar one. I used like, you know, have you ever had a bad meal at a restaurant?
Yeah. Steak I think it was actually a dog instead of steak, to be honest. It was in potato.
Yeah. And like, is that going to stop you from ordering a steak ever again?
No, I had one last night.
Yeah. But why didn't it stop you though?
Just because I miss how good a real good juicy steak tastes. So I had to get another one.
Yeah, you keep trying. Myself. Yeah. It's like there's so many you can use. I've used like the ex-girlfriend. Like, have you ever had a girlfriend before? Yeah. Did it work out? No. Okay. Does that mean you've given up on love? Well, probably not. So why are you giving up? Why are you giving up on yourself, you know, for this? And it depends how like real you want to get with people and how like real the objection is in their mind. But yeah, it's cool. How have you, so besides life experiences, like what's helped you level up like your sales skills specifically? Definitely investing in like masterminds, courses. Those are the best thing, I think, because I mean, a lot of people, they think courses are pretty much a scam, especially with all these there's a lot of fake gurus online, MOMs, scam courses. Yeah. But I mean, online, I mean, it's still a lot better than going to like university, because that's even more of a scam, because you're learning from a fake guru. Especially for myself, I went to university to go after a business degree to learn how to start a business. But I was learning from a fake guru, someone who's driving a Honda Civic to work, never touched six figures in her life. And I was trying to learn how to do that from her. So it's kind of like, have you seen like Avengers? Yeah. You know, like the Red Skull talking to Thanos, like he was leading him to a treasure he can't possess. That was exactly like the professor. So I think like courses is definitely your best bet. You just need to be able to trust them, do your due diligence, do the research, and take those calculated risks, because you can learn from someone who's actually been there and a real guru, instead of the fake guru who's never done what they're teaching. Yeah. Yeah, dude. I honestly think like university, college, same thing. I think university is the biggest scam in the world. Like $100,000, $50,000, 4 years of your life. And you can't start making money until after that 4 years. And then you might figure out that you fucking hate that job. Yeah. I mean, you're not even guaranteed a job in the first place. Like you're just delaying unemployment. Yeah. It's pretty funny. And then even if you do get a job, it's like you might figure out you hate it. You might realize that it's capped. Like I think the average promotion every year is like 2 to 3%. And you get 2 vacations a year. And inflation is at like 8%. Yeah. You're literally fucking losing money every year. Yeah. I mean, that's the definition of the rat race. You're getting in debt to learn how to make money, but then you learn maybe, let's just say best case scenario, do learn an okay skill,
But then you go out of college, you're in massive debt. And then you have expenses like your house, car, maybe a girlfriend. And then you're stuck trying to crawl out of that fucking crater you just dug yourself into, going into debt. And then you have to pay for the debt and everything else. And that's where the rat race is kind of created.
Yeah. And like, yeah, it's fucked up. And that's why, like, I think when people talk about the high ticket space, like sometimes people talk about it in like this negative light, like they fearmonger. They're like, oh, it's not going to be around for a while, blah, blah. I completely disagree.
It's like the opposite.
Bro, it is going to get bigger and bigger because everyone is going to realize that university, college is a scam. They're learning from fake gurus and then going to be like, shit, I need skills to make money. So how do I learn these skills? And instead of paying 50 to 100 grand, they can pay 5 or 10 grand, learn that specific skill, and then start making money from it pretty quick.
Yeah, it's not a paper that gets you money. It's the skills.
Skills 100%. Pay the bills.
Yeah. And even with like university, that's what I was like talking about earlier, like conformism and totalitarianism, like they're doing what other people want them to do. Maybe their family told them to go to college is the best way to go, or maybe all their friends did, or maybe their family forced them to go. Then let's just say they go through 4 years, 6 years of university, they get into a career. But what if they didn't even like want to be in that career? Like they get to where that goal ended up, but they didn't even like it in the first place.
Yeah.
So it's very sad.
And after 4 years.
Yeah.
Whereas like, it's like
your most valuable time in your life where you have the most energy. Like we can go out, we literally went clubbing last night and then we're here now. Yeah. We have the most energy in the world right now and we're putting that energy to use to get to where we want to go. Most people are using that energy and wasting it, drinking, smoking, screwing around in college, and then ultimately destroying themselves. And then 5 years, 6 years later, they're back at where they were at like 17 or 18.
Yeah. And you know what's funny? The only, like, I used to think it was a valid counter argument was that, yeah, but at uni, you'll meet a lot of lifelong friends. But then now I'm like, well, look at all of the lifelong friends I've met over the last year or two compared to the type of people I would have met at uni. It's like, yeah, I would have met people at uni, but they're not even the type of people I want to be friends with anyway. It's like, I want to be friends with people that are always looking to level up. Like whether I've met people that are making 10 grand, 20 grand, 50 grand, 100 grand a month, like they always want to make more. They always want to keep growing, keep developing themselves. Like those are the people I want to hang out with, not people that just want to settle for a degree and then get a salary.
Yeah, 100%. And yeah, I mean, back in the States when I was in university, my friends in college, which I thought were my friends, they were just acquaintances who wanted to put on my downfall because they were like, tell me to go drink that drink, smoke that joint, which I did. I'm fully responsible for like listening to them and doing that. But once I dropped out and started going down the path of like remote sales and entrepreneurship, they were trying to drag me back down. They were like, Ryan, it's too risky. You're moving to Bangkok with like $1,500. What are you doing? You're going to fail. And if I listened to them, I would have to go back to like that same reality that they're living in. So, I mean, you get to see who your true friends are once you go down your own path and you hit rock bottom. A lot of your friends, they'll hate on you. They say you're a scam or anything like that. And they try to drag you back down to their level. And those aren't your real friends. But from what we've seen out here in Bangkok and in the real world, we see people who are doing better than us, people who aren't doing as better as us, but they're not preying on our downfall. They're not trying to drag us down, no matter if they're doing better or worse than us.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to see each other win, which is very powerful.
100%. Like even when I was, when I first got back from Bali and I was like met up with a few of the friends that I have in Brisbane, I can't remember what I was talking about. I think I was talking about some investment for a company that I was making. And all of the responses was, oh, have you looked into this? Like, what about the negatives? What about this? What about that? Whereas when I was overseas in Bali or in Thailand, it's like always, oh yeah, that could be cool because of this. It's like, I have an analogy. It's like if you tell someone in your hometown, hey, I'm going to jump off a cliff, they're like, dude, you'll die. Yeah. Whereas in Bali or Thailand, if it's like, hey, I'm going to jump off a cliff, you're like, hey man, if you believe it, you'll fly. Like,
yeah, 100%.
Like, it's that stupid, like delusional self-belief, but that's what you fucking need.
Yeah. Everyone has like an abundance mindset from what I've seen out here.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. And like, I think I mentioned this last time we spoke, like that faith that it's going to work out. Whatever shitty thing you're going through, whatever terrible thing, maybe like, you know, your relationship ended or your father died or, you know, you're going through some sort of crisis. Like for me, it's faith in God that like he has a journey for me and that's just part of the journey, you know, and worst case, I'll learn from it. I'll get better from it. Best case, it turns me into who I want to be. Like for me, like my breakup was like the best thing that ever happened to me personally. Like, I feel like that was like the rite of passage for Orlando, because I don't think I actually would have been the man that I want to be ever if I just always stayed in that relationship and I never felt that like heartbreak.
I got you. What do you think the best thing to do after like a breakup is to do? Because like last night I kind of went through the same thing. So like, what do you think is like the best thing to do after a breakup to like get over it and to level up overall?
Yeah. Like, focus on yourself, King. like literally, like when we broke up, obviously you feel like all these fucking emotions, like it's insane. Like, especially as guys, because we're not as in touch with our emotions as girls. So like, but then when a breakup happens, like you actually feel it all and you're like, holy shit, like this is fucked.
Yeah. Like last night I went through like all the 4 stages. Like I had like the shock moment. I was like, oh, is this real? And then at the club, it's like, oh shit, it's really real. And I got home and that's why I got like, kind of sad and depressed. But I mean, I woke up, went to the ice bath, came here.
Yeah.
And we're back in business, baby.
Honestly, bro, it'll come back. Like it'll keep coming back up and down. But like, I think my advice is like, this is what I did that helped me, is just literally be like the best fucking version of yourself. Like for me, because she broke up with me. And so for me, it was kind of dark. Like I used this as fuel, which maybe isn't the best thing, but it worked for me. I just had in the back of my mind, I'm going to become the guy that she will regret breaking up with for the rest of her life, which is fucking dark. And it's like comes from a bad place. I know that. But I used that for the first few months. And bro, I was like overtraining. I was running like 5Ks minimum every single day. I was gymming every single afternoon. I got in the best shape of my life. My business started doing better. I started taking more risks, going traveling, meeting new people. Like when we broke up, I realized, fuck, I have like no friends. Like I've just been hanging out with her the whole time. And so, yeah, I would like just focus on yourself and bettering yourself. But I'm sure you know this. It's just like hard to, when you're in that moment and you have all these emotions, it's hard to think with clarity.
Yeah.
But
that's where modafinil comes in and then back in business.
Back in business. But yeah, I know like you're the type of guy, bro, like this will make you better.
Yeah, 100%. And I mean, right now, like this is your first time going to Koh Samui or December 5th, 15th?
No. So I'm going there Sunday. So tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Yeah. I fly there tomorrow.
Nice. So in terms of like Koh Samui, like what do you think is the number one thing you're looking forward to? I know you haven't been there yet, but like what is your imagination in terms of like Koh Samui? Because some people might be watching this and not even know like what Koh Samui is. Like, what are your views on it so far without even experiencing it?
I barely have any idea, eh? Like I've heard from some people it's similar to Bali, which if that's the case, cool. Whenever I would speak, like when I talk to girls about it, for some reason, like 80% of them would say it's terrible, don't go. And then when I talk to guys, they're like, oh, it's fucking amazing, you'll love it. And I think like some of the guys I've talked to, like they said, like the Muay Thai is great, you can eat really healthy, you can just dial in, lock in. And then the girls would be like, oh, there's not much to do there. So it makes sense. So what I'm hoping it is that it's basically just like a place where all these nomads, and I know a lot of high ticket sales guys are there as well, just go to just like grind and level up. That's what I'm hoping.
Yeah, it's pretty much that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm also doing like a recon because I've never been, but next year in February 9th, I'm running the next mastermind, the third one. And so I need to do a bit of a recon, like see, okay, what can we do there? What's available? And I know you've got the islands, north and south as well. So I could do that. But I think for the most part, like I'm just going to rent a fucking mansion and like a mansion villa.
I mean, that's what you do.
Get a Muay Thai coach, come in every day, 10 kicks, motherfucker, like, and just make a bunch of money.
Yeah. And what do you think the like most powerful thing about like getting into martial arts, whether it be boxing, Muay Thai, jiu-jitsu, like what do you think the benefit is if no one's ever done it before, if they're watching this?
Yeah. I think for every man, like having that physical element to it, like just fucking punching something, like even if you're shit at it, like just getting that energy out of you is so powerful. And as well, like it triggers like this deep thing in you,
like primal nature.
Yeah, like this survival instinct. Like especially when you get hit in the face.
Yeah,
it's
that
just
first spar is crazy.
Oh, it's nuts. I still remember mine when I got hit for the first time. I was like, oh, you dick. Like, I was like, what the fuck did you hit me? Yeah. And I'm like, oh, that's the point. We're sparring. And I was like, all right, shit, I got to like protect myself.
Yeah, I was like closing my eyes like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah. So I think it does. And obviously it helps you grow, right? Because like when you go through that experience of getting hit in the face, like then when you get, hey, I need to think about it on a sales call, it's like, oh, I've gone through harder than this.
Yeah. Cause like nothing in life will hit you as hard as someone else hitting you in the face. So like all your problems in life after sparring and getting hit in the face, especially after a hard spar, everything just kind of tones down and you're just more chill, relaxed. Cause like nothing's going to hit you in the face. Like if you're scared of like making a YouTube video, getting into sales, or maybe you're scared to go up to a girl, like, is she going to punch you in the face? Like, no. So like everything is a lot more easier once you get hit in the face. So like if you're watching it right now, go to your first boxing session, get hit in the face. Don't be scared. Just put your face out there and point right here.
Yeah.
Just get in the face and have that experience.
Yeah. 100%. Like even, it's funny you mentioned like the girl thing, bro, that is fucking terrifying for a lot of guys. Like just going up to a stranger and talking to them without using apps or, you know, without knowing them previously. And it's something like, I'm no expert, right? But one thing I learned about myself about a year ago is whenever I was selling to like a pretty girl over Zoom, I really struggled. Because, and I realized it was because, you know, when I was younger, I didn't get much attention from women. My relationship with my mum isn't really present. So I didn't really have like that female figure, like properly, I would say. So all of this could have combined and maybe some other life experiences as well. But I realized, fuck, I'm like really struggling to sell to hot girls. Like, and it wasn't even about them being hot. It's just they were hot and they were looking to buy the thing I was selling. I was like, okay, how do I fix this? I was like, well, I should probably just go talk to some pretty girls. And like, I don't know if you remember in like when we were in Bali.
Oh, bro, you're going crazy. I think I had like 15 girls like off back to back.
But bro, I was like that for me was like for my sales. Like when we'd go out at those late nights and talk to girls, like it wasn't even to party. It was to get better at sales and to like get better at that skill. But yes, like whatever can, you know, other guys will have different sort of prospects that they struggle with. Like I was coaching one guy and he was really struggling to sell to A types, like alpha males. Yeah. And I jumped on a training call with him and he had like all these notes prepared and like this call he wanted me to review. He was like, okay, awesome. Like, what do I say? Like, I've got some things. I was like, hang on, put that shit aside. How's your dad? And I was like, what's your dad like? He's like, oh, he's a real estate agent. He does sales. I was like, okay, and what's your relationship like? It's like, oh, we don't talk that much. So, okay, tonight at dinner, have a conversation with your dad. Ask him about his work. Ask him about what he's doing, what he's up to. Like, just get to know your dad more. Get comfortable with that. And he was like, yeah, it's funny you say that because like I do feel really uncomfortable talking to him. I was like, that's what you need to do. Fuck the other sales tactics. He did that. He messaged me that night at like 1 a.m. He was like, bro, that was fucking life-changing. And now when he talks to A types, he's so much more comfortable because he did that with his own life. It's crazy how like those experiences all help us in sales.
Yeah. I mean, that comes back to like, people are always looking for this magic trick, this magic solution, the magic words to say on a sales call, but they're always ignoring the hard shit that's real. They know what they need to do, but they're ignorant to that fact and they're doing anything they can to find another way. But it's just facing that hard shit, figuring it out and solving it and getting through those big hurdles, those big obstacles that make you grow and get you past to evolve.
100%.
Because like he came to you looking for like a magic way to sell to these high level people, but it's just that underlying reason, that hard thing that he was trying to escape from, that was truly holding him back. Yeah. It's good for you for like selling him on like opening up and actually finding the true cause of like what was going on.
And that's why I fucking love sales. It's like, it helps you in every aspect of your life.
Like, yeah, I mean, like everything is sales. Everything is marketing and sales since the beginning of time. Even reality itself, like religion, like there's the Bible, the Quran. What is that? Marketing.
That's true.
And you're sold on it. Yeah. And then you're marketing it to other people. Yeah. So it's crazy. Everything is sales.
And how did Jesus market himself?
Yeah. He went on the cross.
Well, yeah.
Big VSL.
Yeah. But he told a lot of stories. He told a lot of parables. He like talked about, you know, stories and examples that people could relate to. So like, yeah, you've got a point. Yeah. I think like when you get good at sales, it'll honestly change your life because every conversation you have once you're good at sales is completely different. Like before I got into sales, I was a fucking loser, first of all, but also like I didn't even know how to talk to people.
Yeah,
like,
same. I was talking in TikTok language.
Yeah, like you don't know how to listen or how to ask questions. It's like now when I talk to my family even, like they have so much better of an experience talking to me because I actually listen to them. But I guess for you, like what helped what specific like hurdles like or like hard shit did you have to get over that helped you improve at sales?
I think, yeah, definitely listening, because I would just stick to the script when I first got started in sales. So I wouldn't even listen to the prospect. I'd be like, oh, well, he answered this question. Let me just go ahead and say this. I wouldn't really get to the point where I'd realize like what the problem was and if I could even solve it. It's like most people that get into scripts, which I think is okay, starting off just to get the foundation and the format for like the sales call, whether it be a setter or a closer. Yeah. But right when you learn that point A to point B, like from calling to close, then just go scriptless. Yeah. And just try to find if they have a problem, if they do. And if it aligns with what your service provides, then solve the problem. Yeah.
100%. Yeah. And like one thing I tell all of my guys in Closers Cult is ditch the notepad. So like script, I'm iffy on. Like I still have my script up. I just like, I'll like have it if worst case. It's more of a structure. But script aside, ditch taking notes. I was watching one call and every time they'd answer, he'd start taking notes and he'd look down and he wasn't present. I was like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, I'm taking notes, so I remember. I'm like, dude, if you actively listen, if you're actually present in the conversation, you don't have to take notes. You'll just remember. Like, I don't need to take notes right now talking to you because I'm actually listening and I'm present. Yeah. And it's the same on your calls.
That's the most powerful. That's where you'll have like the highest conversion rate, when you're just fully present and putting yourself in the position of the prospect that you're talking to. If you're just thinking about the commission you could collect from the call and how much money you're going to make, then you're going to have a less conversion rate because you're thinking more of yourself and less of the prospect on the other end that needs your help.
Yeah. You're doing a disservice to the prospect.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Such a good frame of mind. Like whenever you know you need to do something, think about, okay, how is it a disservice to others? Because it's this weird thing, but for some reason, psychologically, people look after other people better than themselves. Like Jordan Peterson talks about this in his book, where it was like, I think, look after yourself as, you know, like you look after your dog or something like that. And I was talking about like, they did all these studies on like when people get given medication to take, and like that's a different story, but the humans wouldn't take the medication. But if a vet prescribed medication to their dog, they were like on it, like exact schedule, like super routine. So it's like, if you can connect the dots of like, okay, how is this negatively impacting other people? It makes it easier for you to do the thing that you need to do. It's kind of weird.
Yeah. Like I should like kind of putting yourself at priority.
Yeah. Well, it's sort of like naturally we like prioritize others for some reason. So if you can, like, you're actually like for example, if you think about, you know, 16-year-old self, a version of you, and you're like, okay, I'm doing a disservice by not putting myself out there and not teaching him because he needs someone to tell him, then it's like you're prioritizing him technically, but it forces you to do the thing that you know you need to do.
I got you. So I mean, it's kind of like on a plane, like when you're like, let's just say you're going down in a crash, like you can't save the other person unless you save yourself first. Like you put the mask on, like if you like pass out before you even save the other person. Yeah. So you have to like get present and be fully optimized for like the sales call and then help the other prospect. So that means like a lot of people get into sales and it's like a very low standard at the moment, because like there's so many people just like you posted on your story. Someone DM'd you like a text, hey, you're looking for a setter. And no effort at all. So I mean, there's a very low standard in getting into sales and a lot of other online businesses, because a lot of people, they say remote sales is a scam, e-commerce is a scam, affiliate marketing, whatever it is, they say it's a scam. But it's not the businesses that fail, it's the people. So like just becoming at least that medium level to high level guy that's able to actually attain, maintain, and grow that business, that's very important. Not the business itself. Yes. More like a journey like within to get you to where you need to be.
Yeah. It's like when in the States, I'm down to get controversial. Like when they talk about gun laws and shit, it's like people say, oh, guns should be illegal. It's like, well, it's not the guns that are the issue. It's the people with the guns. Just like in the UK, they've banned guns, but they're still stabbing each other constantly.
Cutting off arms.
It's fucked up. But it's like, you don't ban knives. It's like, it's the people that are the problem. And yeah, it's the same in sales. Like it's not sales that's the issue. It's not e-commerce that's the issue. It's the people. It's the person doing it. Now, like, are there certain levers you can pull or certain industries that are maybe different or easier to get started in? Like, yeah, maybe. But at the end of the day, if you do everything you possibly can, there's no reason you won't see results in it. So like, what would your advice be? Let's say there's like a younger version of Ryan. He knows he doesn't want to go to college. He knows that's a scam. He doesn't want to listen to a fake guru. He wants to get into sales and learn that lifelong skill. What would be your advice to him starting out in terms of like how to find a role, first of all, how to land it, and then how to get good at sales?
Yeah. So first off, finding out like what your goals are, like what your desired output is, and then just reverse engineering that process, like how much money you need to get that desired output and to like maintain it. And then finding out the quickest way to get there. So either investing in yourself, putting yourself in the position like we have, like going to Bangkok, Thailand. That was the best decision for me because no one in my hometown is making money, like $0 online, even in physical businesses. No one was making money. So I was doing research and I found that Bangkok, Thailand, I mean, everyone out here is making money online. So I knew if I just came out here, positioned myself within those group of people, that it was inevitable that I'd be able to do that for myself. So I would just tell my younger self, invest in yourself, get some cash flow, go to the place where everyone's already successful in what you want to achieve for yourself. And then, I mean, it's pretty simple. I mean, it's inevitable you'll get there yourself.
I like that. And like, even if we get tactical, like one of the things that was recurring throughout that is the people, right? It's like connecting with people. You can't find these roles on your own. Like you need to know people. And it's like, okay, well, how do you know people? Well, you got to be someone that people want to know.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, well, how do I be someone people want to know? I don't have anything cool about me. It's like, yeah, you fucking do. There's certain things about Ryan that's super relatable to certain types of people, but they don't know that because you're not posting content.
Yeah.
So I think like the personal branding part is so huge because I wouldn't have connected with you if I didn't look at your Instagram and go, this guy's a fucking G. Like we wouldn't have connected. So you've got to like make yourself basically look like a cool guy.
Yeah. That and be authentic as well. Cause like with the personal brand, there's no competition if you're truly genuine and authentic to who you are. Because if you try to be someone else, then you start creating competition.
Yes.
Like we both help people with remote sales.
Yeah.
But people watching this, they might click with you more.
Yeah.
Or they might click with me more.
Yeah.
That's the power of the personal brand.
Yeah. And it's funny because I'm connected. We're both connected with a lot of people that teach sales. And like the old mindset, the scarce mindset would be like, oh, we're all competing with each other. But like you said, I don't see any of you guys as competition and vice versa.
Yeah.
Like it's all different. Right. Yeah. We all have different styles.
It's like different ecosystems.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what I was thinking as well when I first like was deciding if I could help people, because I already helped a few people back home in the States get into remote sales. So I was trying to just level that up. But I was thinking like all my friends I had a few friends doing that as well. And I don't want to like compete with them. But then my friend who was already doing it was telling me like, there's no competition because you're Ryan. You're not me.
Yes.
You have your own authentic, genuine self. People are going to connect with you and not me.
Yeah.
So it's kind of motivated me, kind of opened up your eyes and my eyes as well, that like someone's going to look up to you more than they'll look up to me. And someone might look up to me more than they'll look up to you. So just, there's no competition.
100%. And it's actually a game changer because when you do look at it as competition, it creates this weird dynamic. Like if we thought we were competing with each other, right? It's like, yeah, we're friends, but it's like deep down, I'm like, oh, but I want to like do better than him. But it's like, no, it's like, oh, he's doing that. Oh, cool. I can implement that. And then I tell you what I'm doing. And it's like, we both make each other better.
It's like iron sharpens iron.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's like a healthy competition.
Yeah, 100%. Like even like James went to the first mastermind, like he started teaching sales as well. And we both text each other daily. Like we both encourage each other when we get a sign up. Like we don't look at it as this scarce mindset that like a lot of people would naturally have, especially in the sales training world. Yeah. A lot of toxic
especially
behavior.
Like the MLMs or like the scams out there.
Don't get me started, bro.
Yeah.
Don't get me started on ABC.
Yeah. Oh, what's ABC? Is that like a Facebook group?
So I don't know what defamation laws are like, but let's just call it an alphabetical company that starts with the first three letters. And basically what they do is they teach digital drop shipping. Now, digital drop shipping is basically just a cooler version or a cooler title of high ticket sales. And so they sell the dream. They sell, I make $50,000, $6,000 a month. I travel to Dubai. I do all this cool stuff, blah, blah, blah. And it's through digital drop shipping. And then they go send me, comment the word guide or something. I'll send you my guide. And I've gone through the funnel. So you click on the guide. It's a VSL. There's all this info about how all these people are making money, blah, blah, blah. And then you go through and you have a sales call with one of the guys and it's $10,000. You pay that money. You get in and then you realize that 90% of the people who are actually making money are making money by selling the thing. just by marketing the thing.
Yeah.
But they don't actually do the thing.
So they don't sell an actual skill. They just sell to sell to sell.
Yes.
I got you.
It is literally the definition of a Ponzi scheme.
Shit. Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, those are kind of fucked up, but I mean, yeah, someone's got to have the end of the stick, so it's kind of fucked up.
Yeah. So if you see an alphabetical lettered company, just be a bit cautious.
Yeah,
like Ryan said, do your due diligence.
Yeah. Because like, I mean, with remote sales, the way it's not like a Ponzi scheme is because you're actually like standing in the cash flow from people who want to learn individual skills like day trading, fitness coaching.
Yeah.
Even in Bali, there's the people who like selling the shroom trips.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, there's coaching for everything.
Yeah.
So it's just standing in the middle of that cash flow. That's all remote sales is, not like some Ponzi scheme.
Yeah. And like people talk about AI, right? AI is fucking awesome. I'm sure we'll touch on that. But like people get scared of it, like, oh, is sales going to be replaced by AI? Because like they've got these appointment setters and stuff. And it's like, yeah, the AI might get better and better and better. But at the end of the day, if someone's spending over $2,000, they want a real human connection.
Yeah.
Right. And that's going to come like that. The robot could be amazing, but they're not going to be able to have that authenticity that a human has.
They can't go deep. They'll have like the baseline surface level questions.
Yeah.
They won't be able to go deep. And no one like a human is having like, when you're on a Zoom call, you can see like you can kind of feel them out, see their facial, like, what's the word?
Expressions.
Facial expressions. You can see like if they're kind of uneasy and you can kind of point that out. AI would be like, oh, so you ready to buy?
Yeah. I see that all the time. Like one mistake a lot of salespeople make is they don't call out what they know they should. They don't call it out into the open. It's like if you see that someone is super nervous, I'll just be like, you seem really nervous.
Yeah.
Like it's as simple as that.
Yeah.
Like just call it out, bring it into the open so you can address it. But yeah, I think AI will replace appointment setters.
Yeah.
I think that might happen because
100%.
It's a bit of a simpler conversation.
Yeah.
And
it's very surface level.
Yeah. And like, I've been working with more appointment setters lately and a lot of them are pretty fucking lazy, to be honest. So it's like, if you can get an AI, it's like $2 a set. Like,
yeah, it's worth it.
Yeah, you're gone. So
no management at all.
But that's why it's important to level up your skills.
Yeah.
So like if you are scared of AI and you're scared of being replaced, level up your skills so that you become irreplaceable.
Yeah. Or you will be replaced. Like there's already I think it was like a McDonald's in Texas. It's full AI, no employees. Yeah. So I mean, in the next 5 years, all these low-level jobs, people going to university right now to learn a degree, they're delaying unemployment and then they get unemployed to like a job that's easily replaceable by AI. So not only are they wasting the 4 years, 6 years now, but then maybe 2 years working at this job, they'll get replaced by AI and then they're back to square zero. So it's very important in this day and age to learn an individual skill that can separate you and make you irreplaceable by AI. So that way you don't have to worry about it. You can start building out an empire. So that way, if let's just say we have like a universal income, or maybe there's not that many opportunities, you have that empire built up. So you don't have to worry about it at all.
100%. And like we just had the election, obviously, in the States that a lot of people are paying attention to. And it's like, regardless of whether, even if Kamala won, would have been pretty shit. Even if she did win, it's like, I still know I'll be all right because at the end of the day, people are still going to need to be sold to in any economy, you know? And it's like, just control what you can control. I mean, fucking awesome that Trump won. We're so back.
America. Crypto is booming.
Yeah, bro. It's nuts. Are you into crypto much?
I mean, a little bit, but not as much as I wish I was.
Yeah, it's always been a tricky one. Like even 4 years ago, I always thought about getting into it. I just never really did because the way I looked at it is like, well, I can put 10K into crypto, right? And it might do really well. It might go up like 20, 30%. It's like, if I put that 10K into my skills, will that help me make more than 30%? Yeah, probably. So it's like, why don't I just increase my income? And then once my income's like super fucking high, then it's like, then I'll diversify. But I think it's like Hormozy says, like a lot of people focus on making money in the start, but it's like, no, you need to focus on making the skills at the start so that you can make more money. And then once you're making all that money, then you can invest and buy stuff.
Slingshot effect.
Yeah,
I got you.
Yeah.
I mean, what were we doing at like 16 or 15, spending $60 on a video game instead of Bitcoin? What were we doing?
Bro, I spent hundreds on FIFA.
Yeah, same with like Valorant or like Rocket League.
Bro. Well, what was your game of choice?
Definitely Rocket League.
Yeah, that was a fun one.
Yeah.
That was fun. For me, it was FIFA. I'd spend hundreds on FIFA points, packs, trying to get Cristiano Ronaldo.
Spending on the wrong pixels.
Yeah. Should have spent it on the real world.
Yeah. Yeah, man. So I mean, what do we have, like 1 minute left?
Well, we've got like another They said the next one's on at 1. Oh. So we got like another maybe 10 minutes.
Oh, 10
maybe
minutes.
we could spitball some like maybe misconceptions about sales and we can correct them. So like, okay, there's a big belief that you should build rapport in sales. What do you think about that?
So like kind of small talk at the beginning of the sales call. I mean, it really depends on the vibe that you kind of get from the prospect. Because sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. It just really depends on the prospect I'm talking to. If it's like a high level guy, he just wants to get straight through it. Yeah. I don't waste any time because he knows it's a sales call. Yeah. I know it's a sales call. So we just go straight into it. But if it's like a laid down guy, it's like a maybe 18, 22-year-old, wants to joke around and be like, yeah, it looks good. You look like you're in Florida right now. It looks very beautiful. You're enjoying the weather over there or something like that. Yeah. So, I mean, it really just depends. But what do you think?
I agree. Like, it depends, right? Like, I always customize it to them. So I always just like point out something I notice about their like area. So it could be their face, it could be their clothes, it could be their background. Like if a guy's got a cool poster, I'll be like, hey man, that's a cool poster. What's that? Oh, cool. And where are you based? Melbourne. Cool, man. Well, I know you spoke with Setup, blah, blah, blah. And then I get into it. For me personally, like I don't go longer than 30 seconds because it's like the whole like rapport thing. Like I think a lot of people know that the sales guy's doing it. So that's why if you are going to do it, like you said, do it really genuine. Yeah. It's like you actually think they have a cool beard. Yeah. You're not just saying it. Yeah. So that's one. Okay. And then what do you think's more important, skill or opportunity?
In terms of like sales? Or?
Yeah, in sales.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. In terms of like offers. I think definitely the offer because you have like the Jordan Belfort in the world, like the best salesman in the world on the worst offer in the world. Yeah. And he's going to be making absolute pennies and scraps. Yeah. Compared to the worst salesman in the world, like a homeless dude selling for the best offer in the world. Yeah. So it really depends on the opportunity that you're on that determines how much you make for sure. 100%.
And so how do you teach or what would you teach someone in order to find those good opportunities?
Yeah, so definitely like finding out what your goals are first off in terms of like how much you want to make and then finding an offer. It really depends on like funnel hacking and finding the offer that is able to provide you that goal that you have for yourself. So if you want to make 10,000 a month, maybe find an offer that's making at least 100,000, 200,000 a month. Yeah. And to do that, just look at influencers on YouTube, maybe find which niche you would feel comfortable in. So like for me, financial offers like my bread and butter. So I look at like day trading, crypto, Forex, and I'd find these influencers. And then from there, just kind of reverse engineer the process of like me filling in the prospect shoes and going through the entire funnel. And then either finding their email, Facebook, contact information, whatever I can. Yeah. And then just sending a personalized video, 60 seconds to a minute long. Just, I mean, that's their first test in remote sales, is selling yourself to land that offer.
Yeah. And you know what? The biggest hack, like if you find a company that you really like and you really want to sell with them, the biggest hack is making it super personalized, right? So like you said, so what I would do is let's say there's like, and this is only for a company you really want to sell for. Like this isn't a service level company that you're just doing the numbers for. Let's say there was a guy that like you'd followed him for ages. Like for me, let's say it was Zach Perner, right? Before I started working with him, I'd followed him since I was a kid. So let's say it was something like that. What I would do is go through their funnel, like you said, and I would record myself with a loom going through the funnel. So it's like, awesome. I noticed you have this on your landing page. This is cool. Okay, so I can see a prospect would go through this process. I noticed on your booking form, you had this question. Just personally, I feel this way when I see that question, but that's okay. Book a call. And then once you've done that, then you can be like, so here's where I would come in. This is my experience. This is what I've done. Or if you've got no experience, it could be like, I've got experience talking with a lot of people in the space and this is what's worked for them. This is where I would come in. Because then you can have them visualize like in plain sight how you would actually fit into their process. Yeah. And you're taking the time and effort that no other sales rep is doing for that offer.
Ah, that's very smart. Bro, I mean, to land my first setting offer and to get into closing, I kind of just faked it till I made it. Like at the setting role, I was like, yeah, I set 300,000 cash collected. Yeah. The last year. And then he was like, oh, that's great. And then we hopped into a role play and luckily I did pretty well. Yeah. I was on nicotine at the time. So I was locked in. And then, for closing, it was just at the right opportunity at the right time and just said I was a closer when I was only a setter. I mean, I was closing some deals as a setter, so that wasn't completely a lie, but I think faking it till you make it is also pretty good as well.
The thing is, at the end of the day, you can say you've closed any number of millions. Like at the end of the day, if you've got the skill, And
That's
like
all
a
that
lot of the
matters.
times, like when I'm interviewing people, I do a role play no matter what. And if the skill's not there, I don't care how much you've closed, you're not getting hired. Like I had a guy, he was like, oh, I've closed over $2 million full-time close for the last 4 years, blah, blah, blah. Jumped on, did a role play. I was like, yeah, just got to think about it. And he's like, yeah. Yeah, what do you need to think about? I was like, sorry, bro.
He's like, why do you need to think?
Yeah, that was the shortest interview I ever had. It was 5 minutes.
Oh, snap.
I said, and he was like, what advice do you have? I was like, dude, sorry, like as a closer, like the standards are high. Like you got to know how to objection handle.
Yeah, 100%. That's like the most common one. So
Yeah.
like you got to handle that one.
Yeah. Okay. So do you think start off as an appointment setter or go straight into closing?
Yeah, that one's a bit controversial. I mean, it depends on your skill level first off, because if you're at ground zero, no sales skills, definitely appointment setting. But if you have the skills and you're ready to make money, you need to make money, definitely closing. But I think appointment setting is still best because you build up that work ethic, that discipline, and you're doing the numbers. And you get to see that entire process from like when they enter the funnel to the close, because as a closer, you only see like the second half.
Yeah.
But as a setter, you get to see that first half where you're setting them, qualifying them, seeing if they're DQ or not. And you get to ask those surface level questions. It's like the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah. And especially if you're not used to talking to a lot of people, you can get those reps in so easily. I think there's two ways, like, because I didn't start off. Well, I technically started off as an appointment setter. I sold Instagram followers from my own Instagram. So like I cold DM'd people and then closed them. Like I did the full process, but I never really had like a full-time appointment setting gig. I think there's two ways. I think you either start off as an appointment setter, or if you do start closing, the easiest way is to start off on a fitness offer or a biz op offer, but probably fitness, because fitness, like the skills you learn in fitness sales are pretty applicable to a lot of offers. And the good thing about fitness is it's a timeless market. People always want to get in better shape, and the lead cost is like super low. So if you fuck up a sale on a fitness offer, the owner isn't as on your ass as if you fuck up like a 20,000 business coaching deal.
Yeah, true.
Like
true.
to get a booked call for that prospect is costing them like $500.
A lot cheaper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas fitness, it's like $10 a lead.
I got you. So I mean, yeah, in terms of like remote sales, like what do you think is better, B2B offer or B2C?
I've never sold well, I've sold one offer that was B2B technically, but I still sold to the business owner. I never had like multiple levels that I had to like jump through. I personally like B2C because it's quick.
Yeah, same. They're very hot and warm leads.
Yeah. I like the ability to have one conversation and the deal's done. That's it. No follow-up, no fucking stakeholders, none of that shit. Like, but I've heard from some people that they're, you know, the deals are a lot bigger, the commissions are a lot bigger. And if you're very patient, it could be good. But I prefer B2C.
Yeah. I think there's like pros and cons for both. So, I mean, in sales, like, what do you think is the worst objection for you? Like, I mean, the worst one that you hate the most to hear?
I think the hardest one is probably competitor. It's hard because you can the best way is to pre-handle it by like finding out what it is they actually want, what they've looked at, why they didn't go with those options. So you can do your best, but if you still get it at the end and they're like, hey, like I've got 5 calls booked, like I'm going to compare, I'll be honest, it's pretty hard to handle at the end. So that's a hard one. The one I hate the most is when they let fear hold themselves back. But it's also the one I'm strongest at handling, I'd say.
That's good.
Yeah, so that's good. But if I've gone through like 6 loops and I can't get them over themselves, I actually feel like hurt. I'm like, damn, bro, you're letting yourself down.
Yeah, it's so tragic.
What about you?
I think definitely the wife one. I can't believe like some people just get cucked out of their minds. It's crazy.
Have you seen that Ant-Man meme where it's like Can't Man and it's like the wife holding him? And it's
yeah. On Facebook. I saw that a few times. Yeah. I mean, it's crazy, especially for the men who like make the money. The wives are just like to stay at home. And then they still have to ask their wife. I feel like most of the time it is a smoke screen. You need to figure that out. But sometimes they do are fully cucked. Their balls are tangled by their wives. And that's very sad to see because that's where their ambition dies.
Tragedy.
Yeah.
Absolute tragedy. Yeah.
And like in the remote sales, like what do you think was like the biggest turnaround for you, like from going from McDonald's to where you are now?
I would say getting fired from that Men's Health offer because I was about 1.5 years in and I thought like I was really good. Like I had a big ego and then that humbled me. And it also taught me, I need to learn how to find good offers because I was like, shit, how do I find a good offer now? and I was kind of stuck. So then I bought this course like teaching me how to network basically. Which sounds kind of simple. Like, why do you need a course teaching you how to network? But I just didn't know.
It's worth it.
So I bought that. I think it was like $3,000, and that taught me how to network. And then literally within the first month, like I hit my first 10K month in sales.
Ah, beautiful.
And so like, that's why networking is so important.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a big turning point because it taught me networking, and it also taught me that I need to get way better. And it made me realize how important congruency is in sales, like actually being the guy that is the type of guy that the person you're selling to wants to be, being that guy, like leading them. So that was definitely the biggest turnaround because that taught me the most lessons. How about you?
Yeah, definitely just going, because I came out here with 1,500, was on a B2B offer, but then getting off that offer because it wasn't making any money and I was wasting my energy on that. And then finding that, it was kind of the same situation. It was like finding an offer that was able to make me actual money. So yeah, it was literally just took networking as well. And that took like maybe 2 to 3 weeks to actually find someone to actually like network with and then connect with them. And then they placed me on an offer that had an opening. So yeah, networking, I think is like the biggest turnaround for me. Yeah. So same as you.
Cool, bro. Well, I think that's us. I think we got to wrap up.
Yeah.
But bro, been a pleasure, man.
Pleasure, brother.
Great pod.
Nice one. We'll have another one in Koh Samui maybe.
Ooh, maybe. Round 3.
Yes, sir. I got to go take a shit.
Peace.
See you guys.